watchful eye on the streets, but police have no plans to add surveillance cameras in the capital city.
2 suspects in custody while the SWAT team burst in for a search warrant.
No mess, no stress. A behind-the-scenes look at restaurant inspections. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
It's a common scene at businesses across the nation, a watchful eye that documents crimes and helps find suspects, but not every town can rely on surveillance footage. That's the case in our state's capital, and police say they have no immediate plans to install any surveillance cameras. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Rachel Whittle. With the recent crime spree in Columbia, some residents say more cameras could provide extra comfort. The Jefferson City Police Captain Doug Shoemaker said using surveillance cameras for public safety isn't a topic his department has even discussed. Shoemaker says the issue of surveillance is very political and the city budget is very tight. He says cameras could be helpful in high crime areas where they're needed. We checked in with folks in Jefferson City to see if they felt those cameras were needed.
Well, I don't know how expensive it would be for the individual. They got them on every traffic light. Why not in troublesome areas? You know what I mean?
Other people said they feel safe enough without cameras. If the city chose to install cameras, it would be a matter of public discussion that would need to be approved by the city council.
2 suspects are in custody tonight after the Cole County SWAT team served a search warrant on a home on Helias Road. That's where investigators found several pieces of stolen jewelry and drug paraphernalia. Let's check in live with KOMU 8's Christina Alexander at the Cole County Sheriff's Department, where she's been briefed on those latest developments. Christina?
When investigators arrived at the scene Wednesday, they discovered stolen jewelry and drug paraphernalia. We were unable to locate the victims of the burglary. Reporting live in Jefferson City, Christina Alexander, KOMU 8 News.
A teen murder suspect appeared in court this morning. 15-year-old Lamar Mayfield is suspected of killing 17-year-old Brian Rankin Jr. last year. At the hearing, the judge heard various motions. He accepted a state motion to use data from 4 cell phones recovered at the crime scene. The defense wanted to use the cell phone data in its case. The judge denied a defense motion to exclude a witness based on a bias. On April 7, 2012, Rankin Jr. was leaving a party in the Keene Street area of Columbia with his brother and another teenager. The victim's brother told police someone broke the driver's side window of the car they were in and tried to punch Rankin Jr. Later, witnesses say Mayfield shot Rankin Jr. Police arrested Mayfield that night on the 5900 block of Gregory Street. Prosecutors charged Mayfield with second-degree murder and armed criminal action as a juvenile. In August of last year, though, a judge decided to charge him as an adult. Mayfield's trial is set to start at 9 in the morning next Tuesday at the Boone County Courthouse. KOMU 8 News will continue following the case.
Former Columbia police officer Rob Sanders faces a charge of third-degree assault. At a hearing this morning, neither Sanders nor his defense attorney appeared. KOMU 8 News was there and heard discussions between a prosecuting attorney and the judge in the case. They discussed the discovery of evidence. Now, Sanders' defense attorney told us yesterday he believes prosecutors had not given the court all of the evidence they had. In 2011, the Columbia Police Department released surveillance footage. Here it is of what appears to be Sanders shoving inmate Keith Baker. Baker suffered from a fractured vertebrae and received a settlement of $250,000 from the city of Columbia. Police Chief Ken Burton fired Sanders in 2011 for the dispute. Sanders was a police officer for 18 years. Last year, the department cleared Sanders of the charges, but the state decided to continue its case against him. The trial was delayed in March when prosecutor Mark Richardson said he needed more time. Richardson replaced original prosecutor Mike Fusselman. Sanders' trial date is now set for August 15th.
Governor Jay Nixon signed legislation today allowing quicker state intervention in Missouri's failing school districts. Currently, school districts that lose state accreditation have 2 years before state officials can step in. Nixon has removed that waiting period. If a school district fails, the state board could set up another governing structure, merge the district with a neighboring one, or split the district up. The law takes effect August 28th.
Nixon also signed legislation allowing a gun safety course sponsored by the NRA to be taught to first graders. The bill allows schools to teach the Eddie Eagle Gun Safe program and to seek financial grants to do so. But it stops short of the mandating the course. The NRA says more than 26 million children nationwide have taken the course since it began in 1988. Nixon also vetoed legislation today that would have shielded a Missouri lead mining company from punitive damages in some contamination lawsuits. The measure would have protected the company from damages in lead illness lawsuits if a judge determines it's making, quote, good faith efforts to clean up contaminated sites. The company, Doe Run, has been working to clean up old sites but currently faces 11 lawsuits.
Governor Jay Nixon has 2 days to sign or veto bills left sitting on his desk.
He announced today he will not veto the Missouri abortion bill. KOMU8's Lexi Spivak joins us in the studio with what that means for Mid-Missouri women.
Yes, the bill is one of many still sitting on the governor's desk, and it will automatically go into effect in August. The abortion bill would mandate doctors who prescribe the bill. If the bill were to pass, Missouri would become the 11th state to require a doctor to be present when the pill is prescribed and taken.
2 men found dead in a hotel room in Missouri yesterday were victims of a murder-suicide, according to police. A maid found the 2 men, both in their 20s, in a room at a Holiday Inn Express in Bonner Springs. Police say the men were from North Carolina and were on their way to Seattle. Further details surrounding the deaths are under investigation. A St. Louis man was sentenced to life in prison today in the stabbing deaths of 3 sewer district workers. 51-year-old Mitchell Osborne entered an Alford plea in May to 3 counts of first-degree murder and armed criminal action. With such a plea, Osborne didn't admit guilt but acknowledged prosecutors had enough evidence for a conviction. A man stabbed the 3 workers with a knife back in 2002. Osborne's mental illness delayed the case for years.
We had another beautiful day, cooler and less humid here in mid-Missouri, so let's send it over to Morgan to see what we can expect for the weekend.
Well, good evening, mid-Missouri. I'll have more with your weather here in the next few minutes.
Detour ahead with gushing water below. What's causing this Georgia road to crumble and how long repairs could take?
Guarding against food poisoning, we'll show you what goes into restaurant inspections. That's coming up.
Heavy rains and flooding are causing dangerous conditions in central Georgia. This video shows an enormous sinkhole opening up. The road is now closed to traffic until repairs can be made, which could take up to 3 weeks. A water main break is responsible for the gushing water and this massive damage. But let's bring it back into the studio here. But still very comfortable, lots of sunshine, so it should be a beautiful weekend.
Can't wait. Thanks, Morgan.
All right. Kansas City Power and Light wants to put limits on its rebate program for solar energy in the KC area, but a solar industry group says it will fight the move. The rebates have been more popular than expected. Rebates amounted to $350,000 in 2010 and grew to $12 million in 2012. The Missouri Solar Energy Industries Association says the group has hired an attorney to fight the utility's move.
The importance of a clean kitchen. Residents say it's one of the most important things Columbia can ensure.
But what goes into restaurant inspections? We'll take a look.
Guarding against restaurant food poisoning is one of the most important things the Columbia Health Services can do.
That's what residents think, according to a recent survey done by the city. KOMU8's Sam Houston explains, what goes into these restaurant inspections.
Chris McDonald has been cooking for a long time. KOMU8 News, Columbia.
Boone County uses the Food and Drug Administration's 1999 code. The 2009 FDA code will be adopted in winter of 2014.
Hi, everybody. The Cardinals and Cubs got to make the cut. That's sports.
Thanks, Lucas. Riding a bike doesn't come as easy to some.
But take a look. This furry fella can put the pedal to the metal. That's not all he can do. We'll talk about it coming up next. Take a look. It is what you think. That is a dog riding a scooter. It's so cute. This clever canine named Norman scooted his way into the Guinness World Record books today, traveling 98 feet in just under 21 seconds without any help. That's not all he can do. You see that? He can pick anything he wants out of the fridge. He can put dishes in the dishwasher, and he can ride a bike. That is pretty impressive.
For your week.
You know, the last few days without that humidity, it makes a world of difference.
It really does.
It has been great. Like, I've actually wanted to be outside in the summer here.
Absolutely beautiful. Now remember, you can always get the latest news, weather, and sports on KOMU.com. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.